now may I invite once more Deepak to explain us how one can pursue post-graduation study in medicine in Germany, which is not a classroom-based study like MD in India. What are the requirements and procedure to make career as a doctor? How to apply for visa, tuition fee, and other expenses? How long is the education? How is the current job market salary and those practical information? Deepak, please.
Well, Dr. Gautam, this is a topic where I can speak for like hours together. I have made several online video courses. I have a YouTube channel with 150 videos on this topic, and they're covering different aspects of this. I have, as you have mentioned right in the beginning, there's also my disclaimer that I have a consulting company where we assist and guide international doctors, dentists, nurses to seek career in Germany. So here today, I'm going to talk. I'm going to cover certain aspects of this. I'm going to share my screen now. And just a minute, not this one, this one. So I hope you can see the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, here about me, as I said, 𝗵𝗲𝗹𝗁 International is a company, and we have been working since 2017. We are going to cover requirements, pathway, the license exams, the expenses that is to be expected, and the outcome, the salary or the income, which is many times a motivating factor that when one wants to put step in particular direction, one wants to know that what is going to be the end point, for what am I working for. All right. So the requirements, this can get a little boring for people who are not actually inclined in this process, but for people who are wanting to apply for post-graduation in Germany, want to have a career in Germany, for them this is very important, this document. I have requested Dr. Gautam to share this also with the candidates via email so that it can be with the candidates. So these are the documents that you require, not very critical documents: birth certificate, passport, the degree certificate, transcripts that you need. This is the confusing part for many candidates, that number of hours and number of marks both have to be there in your transcript. Now, all these documents, we are going to the next slide, but here let me read here that photocopies of these documents have to be attested by the German embassy near you. You don't need to send originals, but copies that are attested by the embassy. Here many questions are about legalization. There I will say that legalization, you cannot do legalization as a private individual. Legalization is always done by the German authority. That means your documents comes to a German authority. If German authority does not believe your documents, then they go via German embassy to the law firm in India, and then they get it legalized. So you cannot go apostille. Many people ask about apostille, that okay, shall we get documents apostille from the External Affairs Ministry in India? My answer is don't do that, because Germany and India do not have that apostille treaty, the reciprocal apostille treaty. That means even if you do that, it is not valid. It is not, you're just wasting your time and money. So with this short break, we'll go further in the next slide, and we'll see the other document that is required. Personalized university curriculum. Now, I've used this word personalized because university always has a fixed curriculum of 150 to 200 pages. And if you ask for curriculum, they'll give you that. And you can send it to Germany. But the German authority will say that where it is written that it is your curriculum. I mean, it is said that, okay, from this university, you have studied at this university, but where is your name? So that is why it has to be personalized. That means your name has to be attached somehow to that personalized curriculum. Then it becomes your curriculum. These are the pitfalls which many candidates fall in, and this is why I hope this talk will be very useful for those candidates. They will not fall in these pitfalls. Internship completion certificate, medical registration, that is very clear. Language is required up to B2 level. Now, there are levels from A1, A2, B1, B2, C1 and C2. C1 and C2 are advanced levels. C2 is a Muttersprachler, that's a mother tongue native speaker language, which as a foreigner one never achieves, by the way. But on a certificate one can have. What is required is a B2 level. B2 level is in itself not very small. It's a conversant level where you can communicate fluently with a native speaker. These certificates, and then the work experience certificate. These experience certificates are very important. About experience certificates, it's important that it should not be a generalized that this person worked with us from this duration, he was nice and good and very friendly. Not like that. It has to be detailed, oriented, like what work did you do? what were your hours, what things you learned over there, how was your progress over there. These detailed things have to be there in this experience certificate that one has to take care while getting these experience certificates. Requirements further, good standing certificate from the MCI. Now the MCI is not there, so you have to get it from the NMC. You can also get it from your state medical council. Police clearance certificate from the passport office. Medical fitness certificate. This has to be done by the German doctors. That means while you are in India or in your own country and applying to Germany, you cannot get a medical certificate. That has to be sent later on. Certificate of good conduct from the German authority, it is called 𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗁. That is relevant for candidates who are in Germany, like they have to get this certificate from the local city council. Now, we are going to see the steps which one has to take. Now, the steps I have tried to make it in a stepwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 system, but many steps are overlapping and many things have to be done simultaneously, parallelly. Now, we'll try to understand and segregate in steps. Step 1 is, first of all, is a decision that, okay, you compared and contrasted with different countries. You saw your inclination to what branches you want. You see that, okay, that branches are possible in Germany. Then you decide that, okay, I want to do Germany. I want to go to Germany in spite of the language barrier that you have already taken into account. Then you begin with your first step. The first step is your learn German language. German language, as I said, 4 levels. You start with A1. During A1, you collect all your documents and get them attested from the embassy near you. That can be done very easily via, like, you can book an appointment online. VFS Global is a website. They are the outsourcing partner basically from the embassy. They do it for you. At A2 level, you get the documents translated by the court-sworn German translator. Now, how do you find a court-sworn German translator? There are websites. You can just Google them and you can find there are around 20,000 translators on the website. You can find any one of them who matches the requirements that you have, and you can get your documents translated. Prepare a CV and a motivational letter. Now, remember, everything has to be in German language. That means the CV that I'm saying here has to be in German according to German standard. That means there has to be a photograph on the CV, which is not very customary in Indian system. So you need to have a photograph here. Motivational letter, that is going to be the body of your email that you're going to send to the prospective hospitals. Now, this motivational letter should be 3-4 paragraphs where you describe about yourself, you describe what you have done so far, what you want to do so far, what is your motivation, your ambition towards the role that you are pursuing in Germany. So this has to be ready. Now, when those things are ready, you fill the form that is on the website. Choose a state, which state you want to apply for. There are 16 states, so many medical councils, so many licensing authorities. You have to make a choice that, okay, which state am I going to apply for? And then you go to the website of that state and then you fill the form, send it. At the same time, you have to start sending emails at the B1 level to different hospitals with application for hospitation. Now, hospitation is observership basically, that you come here, you're not allowed to do anything, you're not paid. If the hospital is very kind and generous to you, they can offer you accommodation, some food, one-time meal or something like that. But you should not expect much because you're not doing anything. You're not giving any value to them basically. You are there for your own sake to learn and see how the system is. And with that, you also book a course, Fachsprachprüfung. Now, what is Fachsprachprüfung? We will come later on. Now, Fachsprachprüfung course you book with these 3 things that you have applied for hospitation, then you have acceptance for hospitation, right? You completed your B2 German language certificate from Goethe. Then you have received a deficit Bescheid from the licensing authority. Now, licensing authority, when you send your application, which we did here in the step 5, when you send your documents to the licensing authority, after a couple of months of lag phase, they go through a document and they send you a notice, a Bescheid it is called basically, which says that, okay, you have sent us this document, very good. Now we have gone through that. Point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are covered. Now 6, 7, 8 are missing. Now send us again the documents for these things, like send us the missing documents. So that is a deficit Bescheid, which shows that the deficits in your application. Now these 3 documents that you have, these are very critical for your visa purposes. When you apply for visa, then when you have these documents along with the registration for Fachsprachprüfung, that means that a visa from the perspective of visa officer, you are a genuine doctor in your own country and want to pursue your further career and work as a doctor in Germany. And for that, you have already applied, you're already in touch with the hospitals, you already booked a course. That means he does not have any reason why you should not go to Germany, why you should not pursue your path. Then the visa is very relatively secure when the proper reasoning is proper. As I said here, step 9, apply for visa for the purpose of recognition of professional qualification. According to the paragraph of visa laws, it is 16D. So if you Google, if you want to know the detail, just paragraphs as XND, you will find out the provisions of recognition of professional qualification. Here one has to open the blocked account as well and buy insurance, as Mr. Latka has already talked about that. Then you have to book your accommodation, flight after visa approval, begin your hospitation or FSP course, for whatever reason you are coming. FSP here is Fachsprachprüfung course, which I mentioned in the previous points. And once you are here, then you start applying for the assistant arts position. Assistant arts is a resident doctor, basically. So you start applying to different hospitals for this position. Now, the system here is very, what you say, it is not centralized. That means there is not a central counseling system. There is not a central body where you can send your application and that will be forwarded to different hospitals. Not like that, like we have in India, like we have a counseling system in India. In the US, they have the ERAS and MATS system. So here it's not like that. You have to apply individually to different hospitals, to different head of the departments via email or via post for a position. And when someone likes your application and they have the vacancy, or they see that in future, in coming months, there is going to be a vacancy, then they will get back to you and invite you for an interview or interview with hospitation. That means you do 1 day hospitation. That means you observe 1 day, they will observe you for 1 day, and then they will decide that if they find you a proper match for their system, for their hospital. Parallelly, you are waiting for your Fachsprachprüfung exam at the medical council, the course that you are doing here. You're waiting for the exam, you pass the exam, and once you pass the Fachsprachprüfung, you get a provisional medical license. That is a temporary license for 2 years duration. Now, with this license, you can work as a doctor, you can earn normal salary, but the work that you do is not counted as a residency training. For residency training, you need to pass your Kenntnisprüfung. Kenntnisprüfung is a knowledge test. Knowledge test, as the 2 exams, Fachsprachprüfung is a lighter one, mainly as if you translate the word Fachsprachprüfung, it comes that Fach means the speciality, the subject, Sprach is the language. So subject matter exam, basically. Subject like the German medical entrance test, one can say like that, German medical test it is. And the Kenntnisprüfung, knowledge test, tests your knowledge as a doctor. So the knowledge that is tested is basically of the MBBS level, the final year MBBS, and plus the differences, because the training is different in different countries. What things people learn in the medical college here in Germany, probably some things are missed in our training in India. So those things have to be taken care of. Those things have to be learned new. So that has to be taken care of. You have to prepare for the Kenntnisprüfung and pass the exam to join as a PG resident. The work that you do after your Kenntnisprüfung is counted as residency. Now we talked about licensing exams. Fachsprachprüfung, as I said, there is a C1 level medical German test, valid in that same state where you applied for. Now, Kenntnisprüfung knowledge test, permanent medical license, your PG training begins and it is accepted across Germany. Important aspect, which I get like many questions on this topic, that what is the expense one should expect? Now here we are talking about that you pay everything from your own hand. You are not enrolled in any company. You are not going through any third person, middleman, nothing. You're doing everything on your own. You have learned everything. There are lots of videos on YouTube about these things. So you invest, you start a language course that costs around different institutes offer different levels, different fee structure. So that these are the things. Fachsprachprüfung, there's the very range. Blocked account is an important thing. Now, blocked account is the account for 12 months I have mentioned here. Now here, this is for your living expenses. That means a candidate who comes to Germany, who applies for visa, needs to show that his financially he can live, he can sustain the living costs of 800-900 euro monthly in Germany. Now, for that, you don't need a money in your own bank account or your father's bank account in India. One needs to have a separate blocked account where money is blocked, as the name suggests. That that money cannot be withdrawn, and more than 900 euro cannot be taken out every month. That means your sustenance for 12 months is secure over there. So that way, the government, the visa officer is sure that, okay, this person has money in his account, so he will not become a matter of social dependence when he reaches Germany. Then the small fees like visa fees, insurance fees, air travel, I have calculated here, small fees, document translation, Fachsprachprüfung exam fees, Kenntnisprüfung exam fees, Gutachten if you go for their fees. That comes around, this is a totally approximate number. A couple of thousand here and there one can count depending upon personal lifestyle, personal pathways. So the approximately amount is around 18,000. One can, this is the baseline one has to keep in mind when one thinks about pursuing a career in Germany as a doctor or as a dentist. All things apply for dentists as well as I have mentioned for doctors. Now, we'll go to the next slide where we'll see that, okay, what will one earn? Because many times in Indian subcontinent, PG, that post-graduation, is a work that you do for the hospital with a very low salary. Basically, in private colleges, people pay huge amounts of money to get those seats. And they pursue the German system also with that mindset that what will be the tuition fee and how much like, so here the system is that there's no tuition fee. It's a work basically. You're working on a work contract and you will be paid your salary, monthly salary. Now, this is this actually expired on 30th June 2022. This is basically university hospitals. You can see the first year assistant arts, the person who begins the job. Now, this is the brutto salary. Brutto means before taxes. Okay, so here your taxes will come depending upon your family status, about your religious beliefs, about how much money you're paying to the insurance. So everything will be deducted from that. And approximately one can say for a single person who is around 28, 29 years old, unmarried, will receive around 2,800 to 3,000 euro from this in the initial salary. Now, I would like to remind here to the viewers that this is the basic salary. Apart from this, there will add the extra duties, the night duties, the overtime that you do. So that easily adds up around 20-30% on this amount that is written over here. So here you can see the small progression that we have here from first year, second year up till sixth year. So it does not increase very much. It does not jump. As we see as we know in US, for example, attending salary is much higher than a resident salary, is multiple times higher. Here you see that Facharzt, that is the person who has already passed the Facharzt exam, the specialist exam, his salary and a 6th year's resident salary is not very different. That is one way I could say, not the demerit, but this is how the system is here, that the salaries don't jump up very high. The additional way how one can earn is honorar arts. Honorar arts are the locum doctors, basically, as we know from the British system. The locum doctors, KV-Dienst, the Kassen, so that is basically house arts practice. You work as we were talking about the Notarztliche Dienst, that is not the Notarzt, but the Notdienst, house arts who will work on weekdays or weekends, on the evenings. So that way, those are very lucrative works. The one can take that work and earn extra money if one wants. Notarzt, that is also quite lucrative. That's the emergency doctor, which we have talked before in the previous talk. So this is the payment scale that one should expect when one thinks about and one wants to know what is going to be after getting Kenntnisprüfung. Now, when we talk about private practice, now this is the data. I mean, this very approximate value was published in one of the websites. I have taken it from there. I've taken the liberty to copy it from there. This is from the source I have not mentioned here, but there is a source of this. You see here the numbers. I mean, these are the rough average numbers. One cannot hold fixed that, okay, this is the amount which one earns. This varies hugely between people and between areas, but these are the rough estimate which one has, which the statistics has put, that radiology earns something around this much, orthopedics something around this much. This is just for a rough idea. Okay, one should not take these numbers into very high consideration. All right, thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank you very much, Deepak. And when you were showing the number, I just want to mention that when you see the dot means not the dot of our English system, dot like a comma here.
Yes. I mean, here it is like 850,000. So it's not 850 euros, it's 850,000 euros. So 8,50,000 euros, basically, just for clarity.